Alright boys, listen up. We're surrounded for miles and I don't think they're gonna give up anytime soon, so it's really vital we stay together. Guys! Shea Heights. Just look at it. It's the best thing you can ever see. Nothing could ever mess it up. I declare war. Wait, what? That's right. War was about to break out all over Shea Heights, and only one man was responsible. Please let me introduce you to Jack Hickey. Jack Hickey is an interesting person. Before all this, Jack was normal. He pet his dog, he was playing sports and video games, but now there's just something wrong with him. He is downright crazy. If you're even to say a word to him, he will sling you right on the spot. If somebody doesn't stop him, thousands of people will lose their lives. But who's going to be crazy enough to do such a thing? Yes. Braden Hill Clancy. Breaking news! Someone by the name of Jack Hickey seems to be gone haywire on Shea Heights. He seems to be wanting to kill a lot of people, so please, stay safe and stay inside. Hello? Yo, Tanner, what's up? What's up, man? So, did you see the news? No, what's on the news? Apparently Jack Hickey, he's, gone crazy. He's trying to kill people. Oh, yeah? Yeah. So, you wanna, stop him? Because they, need someone to stop him. Yeah, sure, I'll be right over. Okay, I'll see you then. Alright, see you. Bye. Yo, Tanner, you ready to get going? Yeah, do we have, outfits or something? Yeah, we actually do. They're in the garage. Come on. Okay. Alright, here's yours, and here's mine. There we go. Much better. Now, let's get the guns. Woohoo! Sweet! Alright, let's go get some more people on our side. Now let's move out. Alright, I got it. I'll go get some more people. Me too. All throughout the night, Tanner and Braden called everyone they knew, but one person stood out of all of them. This person was Ronnie Dillon. You see, Ronnie Dillon is a country boy, a perfect fit for a soldier. He's athletic, he has really good aim, and best of all, he has sick-ass shades. Another hidden skill Ronnie has is his ability to drive ATVs, which he likes to call the bike. Ronnie isn't afraid of anything. One time, he flew down a hill going 100 kilometers an hour on the ATV. He is a nutbag. War was as close as ever, but we were still outnumbered, so we needed a few more soldiers. So let me introduce you to them. Let me introduce you to Aaron Dillon, Connor Butt, Dawson Pike, Luke Druken, and Richard Power. We weren't the only one getting more soldiers though. Jack was doing the exact same thing. Let me introduce you to a few of them. Their names are Aiden Bambrick, Daniel Hennessy, Caden Sears, Kobe Sears, Logan Clemens, Luke Wellen, and Michael Druken. The first battle was set to go ahead in a week, so everyone got prepared for what was to come. Finally, a week went by and the fight was about to begin. Cue the Battle of the Bear. Both sides hoped this battle would be quick, but it ended up a long one. Both sides really needed to win this battle. This battle could overbalance the power on one side. If one side has less men, then the other side will easily take them out. Okay, is everyone ready?
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's move out. First, the Allies got into position. Later on, the enemy did. Eventually, the first bullet was fired and all hell let loose. For a whole hour, both sides switched between offensive and defense multiple times. The Allies decided to make one final blow to try to counter the enemies. The whistle blew, which meant it was go time. All 8 soldiers jumped out of the trench. This final offensive kind of failed. In the end, the battle was determined to be a tie. For the Allies, the 2 people who perished are Aaron Dillon and Dawson Pike. The 2 people who perished on the Axis side was Michael Druken and Logan Clemens. After a long, gruesome, and horrific hour, the battle finally ended. Both sides were tired and wore out, but one man was in total grief and despair. That man was Ronnie Dillon. He just lost his brother to the enemy. He felt like it was his fault in a way, like he could have done something. He wasn't going to forget this. He was going to kill any Axis soldier that got in his way. War has officially started. Both sides headed back to their bases in the middle of the night. Anyone could win the war right now, so Brayden had to do something. One thing that he had that the enemies didn't have was an artillery cannon. There's only one problem though. He doesn't know where their base is. If he was able to locate their base, he could rain down artillery and win the war within seconds. Early in the morning, he sent out Connor, Butt, and Richard Power to go locate their base. They adventured through the rough and rocky terrain for hours with no luck, until Richard spotted something. Hey Connor, is that a flower? I don't think so, Richard. I think that's a tent. Okay, let's keep moving. Wait, what? They found it, right in the middle of Bear Mountain. They were about to radio it in. Then they were spotted by the enemy forces and Richard was shot in the chest. He screamed into his radio that they were compromised. As Connor was fleeing, he was shot in the leg. As he was hopping away on one leg, he tumbled and fell down the cliff, presumably dead. Lying in a pool of his own blood, Connor grabbed his radio. He muttered out the coordinates of the base. Then, another gunshot was heard on the radio. The enemies knew they were compromised and they had to act fast. Within a blink, all the enemies started to run out of the forest. At this point, some of the Allied soldiers started to show up. They began firing down on the hill towards the enemy. Brayden radioed the group and told them to hold their position until further notice. Gunfire was raining upon both sides. This kept going for a few seconds until Brayden radioed in. "Get off the hills! I repeat, get off the hills!" Everyone started to run away except for one man, Ronnie Dillon. He charged down the mountain at full speed, heading right towards the enemy. Everyone yelled at him to come back up, but he wouldn't listen. He was so focused. He started to climb the opposing hill. Once he was up, he started firing on the fleeing soldiers. He started spamming the trigger of his M1, hoping some of the targets were being hit. When he opened his eyes, he saw 3 bodies on the ground. He looked up into the air and saw 3 missiles coming straight for his position. He quickly ran and jumped off the hill. Everyone arrived back safely, except 3 men, Connor Butt, Richard Power, and Ronnie Dillon. Later that night, they were to head back to the position where they fired artillery to recover any dead bodies. Everyone was heartbroken by the loss of their fellow soldiers. When they arrived, it was pitch dark, so no one could see anything, so they whipped out their flashlights and turned them on. They were split into 2 groups. One group would find the dead bodies of the enemy, and one group would find the dead bodies of the Allied soldiers. They searched for about 30 minutes with no luck, only finding the bodies of Connor and Richard. They decided that they would come back in the morning. On their way back, they heard a gunshot in the distance. One group of soldiers stayed put while the other group ran towards the gunfire. When they arrived, they saw muzzle flashes in the dark of night. One coming from the bottom of the hill and multiple coming from the top. They quickly got their rifles and started firing on the top soldiers. The group of soldiers who ran towards the gunfire was Luke and Brayden. Their aim quickly changed from whoever was on the bottom of the hill to Luke and Brayden. Brayden yelled out that they should retreat. Luke suggested staying. Brayden opted with Luke and decided to stay there. When they got into cover, they got a radio transmission from the Allies. They said that their base was wrecked and looted, and the artillery gun was out of commission. Now both Luke and Brayden wanted to retreat. As Luke started to retreat, Brayden jumped over the rocky edge and jumped down the 20-foot drop. He ran to the muzzle flashes on the bottom of the hill, seeing who it was. It was the one, the only, Ronnie Dillon. Somehow, Ronnie survived the artillery. Brayden gripped onto Ronnie's collar and started pulling him towards the hill. They were almost there when Brayden got shot in the hand. He yelled out to Luke to come back. Luke heard him and came in a hurry. Luke hopped over the rock and came down to help him. Together, they successfully pulled Ronnie into cover. With Ronnie now safe on the stretcher, Luke put him down and started giving him medical aid. And then, Brayden looked at Luke dead in his eyes. He then turned around and jumped straight off the mountain again. Luke shouted, "What are you doing?" "I'm gonna go kill whoever's left on that hill." "Don't do it, it's a death trap." "Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take, Luke." He climbed up the enemy hill and started opening fire. Gunfire stopped on the other side. He couldn't take the pain anymore, so he dropped his rifle out of spite. In the distance, he saw an injured soldier walking towards him. He yelled out for them to stop, but he didn't. "You killed all my soldiers." Braden was puzzled by the remark, but kept shouting to stay back. When the mysterious figure got closer, Braden realized who it was. It was Jack. Jack was also unarmed, which was really good for Braden. Jack started to speed walk toward Braden. All of a sudden, Jack lunged at Braden, attempting to pull him off the cliff. For hours, the Allies tried to radio Braden, with no luck. In the morning, they headed back there to see potentially if Braden survived. They looked down off the cliff and was horrified to what they saw. They saw the body of Jack Hickey impaled by a sharp rock, and Braden laying in a pool of his own blood. All the soldiers jumped off the cliff and ran down to see if Braden was okay. One of them jumped down and put their finger on his neck to see if he had a pulse. He waited, and then all of a sudden, he felt a little bump. Braden was still alive, just unconscious. They picked him up on a stretcher and got him back to the home base. For 10 days, they tried to get him to gain back his consciousness. After 10 days, everyone lost hope. But finally, he opened his eyes. His recovery was long and painful. His recovery was 2 months long until he was ready to come back into society. They won the war. All Axis soldiers were dead, except for 2. Caden and Kobe Sears. They were declared as missing in action, but who knows where they really are. Maybe they're planning another attack. Well, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see.